Hello, today is a good day for working. I will use this chance and to make a brief explanation for this model for flush, which there has been a lot of interest to lately. A lot of colleagues ask different questions for its construction as a possibility, as a way of working with it. Now I will try to explain you more strictly these things as to be clear, and those of you who want to know what is the idea. I have been doing with an amateur gold mining for a lot of years. Right now, in the very beginning, I would like to concrete that it's about a construction which is mostly for hobby, for sport, for an amateur gold mining, and not for profit and money. With an installation like this, you cannot become rich of gold, but you can add something to a pension or to have successful sport activities with it. What is it all about? I did this about 10 years ago. In the beginning, I worked at high inches, at 2.5 inches, 3 modifications, 2 inches and a half and 1.5 inches. That's how I make them. During the last 5-6 years, I work only with the lowest version, the one you can see here at the moment, 1.5 inches. The power supply is with 1-inch pump from the older models, 2.5 horsepower with such good motor, 100 cubes motor, very good pumps. They are heavier than the new variants, but they work at lower turnovers and are more silent. I would say this is a trouble-proof pump. You can always count on such pump. I power up with a transport hose 6 meters and a tough hose again about 6 meters, 1 inch. The transport hose is 1.5 inches. I use obligatory transparent hoses. Once, because you can see what is coming out of the injector, and the other variant is that sometimes, even rarely, it can stuck inside and cross some rocks, and you can see where it is at once, and it can be removed. The model itself, the tray, is standard. There isn't anything specific about it. I use perforated sheet of metal with a mossy sock below it. I use exclusively only stainless steel for the making of this model. Only the perforated sheet of metal is SF ordinary steel. The more interesting is the calm box itself. I made it some time ago, after a lot of tries, a lot of experience, with a practice, until I reached this variant, which, by my opinion, is the best. As I've already said, the interest is very high lately. Many people choose it and apparently are satisfied of the work. After that are all. The material itself is received by vacuum under a definite pressure and speed in the box. As to be washed out successfully and qualitated, this water flow altogether with the aqueous material must be equalized to be calmed down, and this can happen only in the calm box here. Here, for a very short time, little distance, the water flow turns away twice the movement of the water, and in the same time it passes through a hopper which is mounted inside, which contributes more of this. This hopper is removed very easily, and you can make fast tries anytime as to see what is the condition of the area on which you are working on. 2/3 of the gold remains inside of it. The rest of the part, which succeeds to hop over, is caught in the perforated sheet of metal and the sock, right here where the water flows, and it flows by a waterfall rule. Right here, in this sector, you can catch the absolutely all of the gold remained. From here, as of below, you can find only separate gold parts. Within this variant, you can put triffids or two thresholds. Eventually, in some cases, there is dropped very easily granular gold, especially if it's vigorously. A great part of it is not washed out well. Round grains with a big volume but without the mass of the gold itself. The water rolls them fast, and here, on this perforated sheet of steel, which is not with such big openness, 20 per 10 millimeters, you can drop such gold. And you can also miss the thin flowing on gold, which more difficult and slowly flows, and is sludge on the bottom. This is all in generally. The ratio in which I hold it is usually 2 against 1, up to 3 against 1, in the favor of Joro. Symbolically, if here there is a gram of gold, inside there is 2 and 3 grams in the hopper. This ratio is not static and is influenced by different factors. One of them is the configuration of the gold itself, if it will be granular or not, larger or smaller, but the more important factor is the way the material is received. I use injectors with a bigger capacity. Central power supply. Some use grids in front. I don't use a grid. I use a bracelet which calibrates the opening. For example, I reduce at these inches of 8 up to 10 millimeters. I reduce the entrance accordingly to the inside ending of the tube, and you can work better this way. It can stick inside very rarely to cross rocks. If a rock is on the entrance, it can be felt, and once you hit on the bottom with a hard subject, some of the rocks will kick it and unlock. Some harder subject or rock, it beats it at once and unlocks. As I have already told you, it is important what injector you will use for working. I work mostly in a rocks area, and that's why I use injectors with higher capacity, as to be able to draw out all the materials which is between the rocks and below them. In such areas, softer and loosed up in the middle level, I can reach up to a 40 centimeters depth. I worked on this area. You need comparatively good concentration. Here now it comes out a little stingy gold, larger, not worked out under the water. Here in the upper end it reduces a lot, that's why today I will go in the deep today. I suppose that somewhere from here it's supplied, but you cannot give a 100% warranty for this. It's very slow and it's very hard to work. There are a lot of rules here. You have to clean out all the yard here to throw it away until you reach the slit, which is golden, but it's not impossible. I will clean, will prepare, and then we'll go to see how the tray works. And I will work it out, we'll work out a spot, and we'll make a drawer test as to see what is the test. If it's worth to work here, or we'll have to search a new one. Or if I have to search it at another place. This is all in all generally. The reveal is done. I did it behind the rock. Here, I took one try. I don't know if we will see it. The sun is shining against me and it irritates. There are 10 or 15 pieces of gold and less seen and fine. Now I will pass. Now I will work out there for the last time with the injector and make one try here. Here I have to remove one big rock and it takes a lot of time to do it, but there's no other way. The situation is like this. This is all in all generally. There are different ways for positioning of the perforated sheet of steel. I put it backwards. I've done a lot of tests by now, and this gives me the best result. That's how it works. I work it with both variants, but it seems this one is better. It cleans itself. It's easier if there's a heavier traction of uptight. When it's turned backwards, it can be flat just like this. And the hopper itself is cleaned also very well. It also cleans out a lot of the washed material. Usually there are a lot of equal quantities. Here the material is not bad. There is a lot of hematite. You still have a reaction for work. It will be harder for me to beat it, but there are 3 basic rules in the gold mining. I told them to a lot of people. Rule number 1. To find the best place for work. To find a place where it's gold mined, where it's worth working. This is learned with years. It's learned with years and the practice. It's full of hematite. Rule number 2. To know how to work out the area quality, not to make any lags, to know how to order your things as to be successful in your work. And rule number 3. This rule, the second one, is learned also, and then it comes the role of the techniques. There you can steal a lot, it is okay there. You can choose among different producers. There are a lot of things offered at the market, different systems. There is a various choice. You can choose. But as to choose the right instrument, you have to understand at least a little of gold mining. Here the hopper holds the larger traction more. There is no other way. In this case we miss a lot of it. After that, I pass this material again with the injector through the tray. I don't have any idea if we can see anything. The sun is shining too much and I can't see and hear before the camera also. If I focused or not. There's a lot of gold. I missed a lot of here below. There's at least half of gram. And here below more apparently. So we'll keep on working this place. I've already revealed and prepared at least. Let's have it finished. I will do the whole of this. Today, as I said, maybe for the fourth day, I need the concentration and the budget, and I hope that around 10 grams I should have created. I think there will be. All in all, it's not difficult. The area is ideal. It has a lot of work on it. It's very difficult to find such suitable places for work on the river. Usually there are a lot of deep deposits and we work of deep antiquity. So we gather what is remained. This is all of me. I will succeed to all of you working with the system who trust in it, and also to those who will take the decision to use it in the future. This is a stinged gold. It's in its bigger part. I don't know if you will see it. This is from 4 tries. Here, this is even immediate of the sting itself, and they are a little larger. They are not washed out and cleaned. Some mixes.